What's up, YouTube fans? Today, we're going to take a look at the X-Transbots Eligos metallic version. So this is a repaint of their original Eligos that came back way back when. Now, they've updated it with a new paint job, but they've also made some changes to the mold. So I'll point those out when we go through transformation. I am going to do a full review here. I went back and looked at my old review, and it wasn't very good. I wasn't happy with it. So I'm going to do a full review on this guy. Now, right out of the box, there's a couple things you might need to do. So these tend to come unplugged in the box, or may not even be plugged in at all, but you want to open up these panels. That's going to just fold and then tab into the side of the arm. It just kind of sits there. And then on the bottom here, these heels, you're going to pull these out, and that just gives you a little bit more stability for those feet. Now, you never had a problem with stability, so you don't really need them, but you do get those extra heel spurs for stability. And now you're ready to rock and roll with this guy. The paint job is absolutely phenomenal. They really should have done this the first time, but you got this metallic purplish blue all the way through. This darker purple here for the forearms, the knee pads, and then the toes down here. These feet are die cast, fully die cast. You have the lighter purple with here, and then the orange paint, and then the metallic, I guess it's a white or a, I don't even know what color this is, but it is fully painted. Everywhere you look, there is paint. The original was not fully painted. There were a couple spots that were painted, but it was not fully painted like this. So they did go the extra mile here on this one. At least I think it's paint. It does look like paint, but really does look good. He comes with a ton of accessories. I'm going to try to go through them relatively quickly here, but you do get his rifle here, painted in metallic silver and blue. That will fit in the hands here. Typical Masterpiece style, the tab, and that fits in nicely. I did notice a lot of the tolerances on this have been improved, and we'll talk about that during transformation. But here's the other gun, same thing, metallic silver with a metallic blue. You're going to pull out on this here, and that's going to go here into the hand. And there you go, he's fully armed up. Nice looking weapons there. New for this figure is the sword. You get this metallic sword with a gunmetal here and then a red jewel there for the middle. And that will fit in. I believe this was new. I don't think we got this with the original, but he does have that sword. Now the reason he has a sword is he comes with a ton of new faces and head sculpts. But let me finish up the weapons. And last but not least, you get the Target Master here. They don't have a name for him. Actually, I don't remember the name, but he is just gray plastic, black plastic up here, and then the face is painted the red and yellow. I believe this is the same as the original. Tolerances do feel good, but this can transform into a gun, so I'll show you how to do that. Go ahead and take these panels here, rotate them down, and then it's going to fold up into the legs. And then you're going to tab these together. And the gun handle also tabs together, like that. Go ahead and open up this panel here, and you're going to fold this inwards. I think you want to rotate the head so that it goes inside, and fold this all the way around to his back. So it looks like that. Take the arms, and I think this is a different transformation. I'm not 100% sure. I looked at some old images, but take the arms, fold them down to the sides. They do peg in here. There's little pegs right there. So get those down and pegged in. And this has the same tab as all the other guns. So go ahead and take that. And that will tab into his hand. And now he can hold his Target Master as well. So nice options there for weapons on this guy. Now new for this figure is a bunch of new faces and head sculpts. So to change out the head, you can actually just rotate it to the side and then lift up, and you can see it's keyed there. So this neck is now keyed. That's new design. There's the head, the standard head. Now you can take this face and lift that up and out, and it's just tabbed in there onto these two tabs. And you got a little bit of light piping there. I'm not sure why, because you've got metallic red eyes. So we have this face here. It's without the eyebrows, but a little bit more of a smiling face. You've got this one here, which is slightly different. It's got the eyebrows there, slightly different style. I mean, you've got a lot of choices here for the face. And the next one, you've got this one, which is the same kind of grimacing, but without the eyebrows. A lot of them look similar. This one is kind of an open mouth. He's blowing or whistling, I don't know. There's a lot. You've got this one where he's getting angry. I like that one a lot. That's really nicely done. You've got this one, which is sort of a surprised or, you know, I don't know, no, kind of in trouble type of face. And then we get the alternate head sculpt. So here's the IDW style head sculpt. That looks really cool. You got the horns, metallic silver. To put this on, it's the same thing. It's keyed. So you're going to put it on like this and rotate it. So it is on there. Now, that looks pretty good. You do get an IDW face, but it doesn't fit this head. It looks like it fits this one. So if you prefer an IDW looking head on the IDW looking face on the standard head, you can do that with this one here. So there you go. So you have a lot of options here, but this is definitely new. Whole new head and all those new faces. Really nice options there. And for some size comparisons, there it is next to MP44 Optimus Prime and the Fans Toys version of Galvatron Sovereign. And surprisingly, he's kind of big. Maybe he's supposed to be big, but he does tower over Galvatron here. Now, we haven't gotten the X-Transbots version of Galvatron, so maybe he'll be sized bigger. But even ignoring the horns for a second, even the top of the head and the shoulders are higher than Sovereign and also higher than MP44. So maybe they're going for a slightly different scale, but there you go for comparison. And there's a comparison I think everybody wants to see with the Fans Toys Quietus, their version of Cyclonus. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I am going to do a full review and comparison on these two a little bit later. But there you go. It is actually bigger. The X-Transbot stands taller. It's wider. The shoulders come higher, but it's also just bigger in general. Alright, now let's get Eligos transformed into his jet mode. It is the same transformation, but there are some improvements they've made, particularly in the legs. But we're going to actually start with the backpack and the head. So go ahead and take the ears, collapse those down, rotate the head to the back so it's facing backwards. I do find that it doesn't sit quite perfectly straight back, but it does work. Go ahead and take this, extend this down. There is a clearance issue right here between this bar and these, and it will scrape this, so just be careful. But get this folded down. We're going to take this, and this is going to lift up and out of here. You can just barely clear. You can see that little nose is barely going to clear over there. So get that up and out. You're going to open up these panels here. You want to get these as far out as you can. That's about the best you can do. Open up these. That's going to allow you to take this nose cone, extend that down, and bring that down and put it in here. Now this has to peg back into these, so close these up and then push this back in and give that a little squeeze, and that will peg in right there. Right, this is going to go around the head, so open this up. In here there's a panel, so you want to open up that panel and get that underneath, and it can be a little tricky to get it under there, but you want to get that under, so you want to kind of close this. And as you're rotating it, it's going to come through the other side. And that's going to make the little console for the jet mode. All right, so go ahead and take this and close it around the head. Take these panels here and work the center first. So squeeze the center together up here. And this is another thing they've improved. The tolerances on this and the fitment is better than the original. So squeeze that together and then come to the side and push it down on both sides. It should actually peg in. And it does peg in a lot better than the original, so that's good. Right, and this is going to fit into here. And get this in here. There we go. Alright, so that's the nose cone. Go ahead and we are going to pull this out. That makes the front of the nose. Right? So that's pretty much ready to go. These do like to pop out, but this is going to tab in here as well. And now we'll get these arms ready. So go ahead and unpeg this from the side. Fold that in. Fold this down onto the side of the arm. This tab's going to fit in right here. So close up the arm and make sure you get that tab underneath, like that. Open up this panel, make sure it stays open. You don't want that closed just yet. Open up the hand, rotate the hand so the flat side is up, and then make this into a fist, and that is ready to go into the back. So same on this side. We're going to unpeg it from the side. Close that panel up. Fold this down. Get this tab in. Open up the hand, rotate the wrist so it's flat, and then close up that fist into a ball. And then rotate that down. We can put these flaps down. They might move on you, but we can just leave them like that. All right? We're going to take this cockpit. This is going to rotate forward and sit down into here. They actually are on sliders here. These are on sliders. So you're going to slide those sliders down. And then this is going to peg into the front here. And then you can close up. Now, I'm not going to push these all the way in because they are a tight fit. I actually have a little bit of flash on this little peg right here. So since this isn't my figure, I'm not going to push it. I don't want to break it. My original one did break. That little tab broke. It was a design mistake. It looks like they've improved it here. They've made it better. They made that tab bigger. So that's good news. I'm happy about that. But I just don't want to push it since it's not my figure. So we'll leave it like that, and then you can close that. And now we'll work on the legs. So the legs are probably the trickiest part of the whole thing. And that's where you want to spend your patience and your time. All right, so come to the inside here, and let's see. First, we're going to open up this, and you might need a spudger. Some of these things are a little tight, so you may need a spudger to just pop that out. Come to the inside here. We're going to take this panel out, and then we're going to rotate this down. It is pegged in right here, so you have to kind of get that out. One of mine was tight, one of mine was loose, but that peg is fitting right into there. Right, so get that, rotate that down. Just let that sit there for now. We're going to take care of this in a little bit. All right, next we're going to take the leg and open up here. And this has to clear this, so make sure you lift this up a little bit. These have to be pushed in, so you got to push down on this. And this is where I was mentioning the pushing plastic past plastic. I don't like it, but you got to do it. Otherwise, you'll scrape up the paint. All right, so open that all the way up. Rotate this to the outside. Next, we're going to take care of this. So fold this flat. We're going to unpeg the knee from the inside of the leg. So right here, this is pegged into the front. So unpeg that. It can be very tight in there, so just be careful. So I got that out. Rotate the knee up on this joint right here. Fold this flat. That's going to allow you to take this and swap these two. So basically this is going to come to the front. Open up this panel. So this needs to be on the front. Like that. And then you're going to take this and rotate that back down. And you want that knee flat against the bottom of the leg. Like that. All right, and that's basically ready to go in. Now this one has the tab. So that one has to go in first. This one doesn't have a tab on this outer piece. So this one actually has to go down and transform in before this one. So you want that sequence right. Yeah, that one has to go in first. All right, so next we're going to take this panel here, rotate that upwards. That's going to come down and in. And it's a weird little sequence here, but we want to get this rotated down and in to the leg. And this is going to sit flat in here. Like that. Leave this open. Later we're going to close that panel, but leave this open for now. Now we're going to take this entire leg, and this is an accordion down. And I'm going to get this all the way in. And that's going to sit flat. And make sure you get that all the way down and in there. Right, this leg should be flat. Right. And you might need to bring this panel up a little bit, but that should sit. You can kind of see how that goes, but this little piece is going to sit underneath there. Right, so it should look like that. This should come all the way down. This piece should fit in here if it isn't already. So it should look like this, with this piece kind of fitting flush against here. All right, and the last step here, go ahead and take the toe, fold that down, and then fold the foot upwards. And that's going to sit underneath here. It's kind of a tight fit, but basically it's going to sit up and out in like that. And then this panel right here, it might have done it by itself, but it's going to tab into the side of the foot. So that's what one side should look like. You do the exact same thing on this side. Go ahead and make sure this panel made its way down. It usually does, but it's going to sit flat like that on the inside. Close this panel up. This has got to make its way underneath here. So if it does pop out, you do have to get that underneath these two leg panels. Right, same for the back here. Get that tabbed in. And now we're going to tab these two legs together. So they have two big tabs back here. So get that a little squeeze. It is a very tight fit. There we go. So it should fit together like that. You probably get a little bit better. But. All right, these panels are going to sit upwards. So sit them on the inside and sit these up too. And that allows us to get these arms down. And these are going to slide down this direction. So slide them down. There's a little slot there, and this circle tab is going to go in there. So make sure you have those hands collapsed like I showed you before. Slide this all the way down and get that lined up and give it a nice push. It is tough, so I will admit that's still hard. Even though they've improved it, it is tough. Once you get that in, fold this panel down. It's going to tab into here. If it's not fitting, that means you don't have it pushed all the way down yet, so just get that lined up. But that should go down to there. This should come around and fit in there, and then this should come down and tab into the side. And it's a tight fit. But, all right, so same on this side. Make sure you have the hand folded up, and again, this one wasn't, so it could move on you as you're transforming. Slide it down all the way. Make sure this fits in, and then get that in there. Get that a nice push. I don't love how that works, but that is how it works. Fold this down, tab that in, fold this down, and then get this tail fin pushed in. Sometimes it doesn't want to go in, this one in particular, but. And final step here, which I probably should have done earlier, but I forgot, is you want to get this seat up. And it actually is spring loaded. So we're going to get this rotated up here. So go ahead and get this seat upwards. You might need a spudger or something to get it out of here, but lift that up. It is spring loaded, so you can, but it gets stuck. So you're going to lift this up, and that's going to make the cockpit. So get that all the way up to there. So it should look like that. And then bring this back down. It's going to tab it in the back here. And I want to be careful not to have any problems back here. There we go. Bring this down. And that's going to tab back into the front. And there is Eligos in his jet mode. Really quite good looking. That metallic paint definitely shines through. You got a little bit of purple paint here on the wings, on the back of these fins. Here's the back. You got some orange here for the engines. This one is on die cast. It's a little bit faded. These actually look better. The engines look really nice. You can fold these flaps up and down, but you really want them straight to look the best. Here's the cockpit. You can open that up. It does have detail in there like I showed you. You can take the Galvatron figure. I don't know about this guy, but it feels a little bit like these joints are fragile, so I would be careful. Bending his joints, I'm just worried about it. Let's see if I can do it. Okay, it looks like I got it. I'm sure D-Tony wouldn't mind anyway, even if I broke it, but And he can fly around in there. That's really cool. That's a cool little feature that we haven't had before. And he looks really good. It's a nice looking little minifigure there. You do have landing gear here, so if you come to the bottom, fold out these landing gear. There's a little notch there to get your finger underneath. And then there's one up here. Nice landing gear that does roll on those, although when you roll it forward, these tend to fall down, so you want to make sure those are all the way forward. Oh, I guess it does lock in, sorry. I guess it locks in. Alright, never mind. Ignore that complaint. That's really nice. Let me make sure this is all the way down. And that does look good. As I mentioned, I don't want to push these all the way flush because on my original Eligos way back when, I pushed them flush and then I couldn't get it out and then those broke off. So I don't want to do that. This is not my figure. So it is as close as I want to get it with my comfort level. You can use the flight stand here included. It's the same flight stand as before. Get the clear piece here. You're going to take this adapter here. That's going to fit onto the legs. Right in that little slot. It is kind of a tight fit, which is good. And then that's going to tab into here. Now this part is kind of loose, but it does stay on there. It just feels a little bit wobbly, but that looks pretty good. Yeah, so there you go. There is Eligos on his flight stand. And for some size comparisons, there it is next to the Transform Element Optimus Prime. So longer, wider, obviously. And then here it is next to the Fans Toys Goose. A little bit longer, about the same height, and about the same width. So you can expect it to be similar to Masterpiece Jets in your collection. It does fit in nicely with a Masterpiece set. So final thoughts on the X-Transbots Eligos metallic version. Let's start with the positives. The paint is absolutely phenomenal. Fully covered in paint, all of the accessories. And speaking of the accessories, the alternate IDW head is really cool. The alternate faces, you get tons and tons of faces with it. The little minifigure of Galvatron is pretty well done. All of that's really nice. I like the way they did it. We'll actually just put Galvatron right here. But yeah, everything works really well and looks good. The accessories all fit and work nicely. The articulation is the same, but it is well done. It does feel like a good quality figure. It looks like they improved some things. Transformation is also the same. The design is pretty much identical, but they've improved some of the tolerance, improved some of the overall fitment and finish. There are still some bending other plastic with this transformation, and I never like that kind of thing. But it is improved here compared to the original, so I will commend them for making some slight changes to the mold to improve that. Everything kind of fits nice and tight, so I do recommend this figure. I think it's a good release from X-Transbots. Now, if you prefer the Fans Toys Quietus, I do have my Versus coming up, so you can stay tuned for that and kind of decide for yourself. But I do think this is a good release. I'm glad they decided to go back and refresh this figure, give it a paint job, and update the mold a little bit. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.